So let's talk about closing costs for a little, because the biggest misconception out there, at least in Maryland right now, is closing costs are split 50-50, right?
Wrong.
Okay, but I have a friend who has a neighbor who was a realtor for a year 5 years ago, and he said to make sure closing costs were split 50-50.
Typically in Maryland, transfer taxes are split 50-50. Same in Delaware, unless you're dealing with new construction.
So that doesn't mean all closing costs? Because I see on my side of the settlement sheet that I'm paying for all these other things. Why isn't the seller helping pay?
Well, those are your closing fees. I mean, you have to hire like a title attorney or a title company to handle the title search. Your title insurance is a fee that you're going to be paying. You're also going to be paying fees to your lender if you're getting a mortgage. So those aren't the responsibility of the seller.
The only thing and what buyers need to understand then is, yes, transfer and recordations are standard to be split 50-50 between buyer and seller.
Yes.
In Maryland and Delaware.
In Maryland and Delaware, unless it's new construction. Then some builders will pay for half, but some won't.
So when we write a contract for a buyer, it's automatic the transfer and recordations is going to be split 50-50.
In the standard agreement of sale for Maryland and the standard agreement of sale for Delaware, yes, it is automatically split 50-50 for transfer and recordation.
And the rest of the costs that we refer to as closing costs, those are traditionally going to be paid in large by the buyer.
Yes.
And that's because those are their costs that are being accumulated to purchase. It's prepaid property taxes. Mm-hmm. It's title and owner policy or lender and owner policy for title insurance. Mm-hmm. Take a second and let's talk about those, because those are fun. On the settlement sheet, the buyer's going to see a title policy for the lender and then an additional charge to them that says title policy for owner.
Correct.
Why are they being charged twice?
So the lender title policy is specifically to cover the lender's risk. And then if you have an additional owner's policy, which is optional, you don't have to get that, but we encourage you to. And basically that will cover your risk with regards to the title search. So when a title search is completed by a title company, they're going to go back a certain amount of years and make sure that there are no liens against the property. They basically say, this title search is clear, but you can buy insurance just in case something was missed. And I'm sure you can come up with an example of what could be missed in a title search.
I think we both can. And that sort of dovetails into the 2 points that I have that I want us to cover here. One is if the title company at settlement is going to remind the buyer that the owner's title insurance is optional.
Correct.
Does that mean they shouldn't buy it, or are we typically encouraging people? We can't tell them what to do. What are we recommending and encouraging?
Yeah, I mean, if a buyer asks me specifically whether or not I would buy the title insurance, I'm always going to say yes, because I've been in situations in the last, 19 years where properties had clear title, but then something came up later down the line, and because they had title insurance, that was a responsibility of the title insurance company rather than them. So there are definitely risks with not buying title insurance. I've had situations where the title was searched with the name of the current owners, but they had a nickname and something was recorded with the city with their nickname, and that easement didn't come up in the title search. There was a shared driveway. And a shared cost responsibility of that. And their title insurance took care of that because it didn't come up in the initial title search.
So when we buy our properties, do we get title insurance for
Absolutely.
owner's policy?
Yeah, I would always buy a title policy.
Every time. So going back to the costs, so yes, it's the lender's policy is not optional. If you're getting a loan on a property, you're getting lender's title insurance.
Yeah, the bank will require the lender's title insurance.
The owner's policy is optional, strongly encouraged from our end, but optional. But those are costs, again, that the buyer's paying because they're the buyer's costs.
Correct.
What else? We mentioned prepaid property taxes. What else should a buyer be prepared for to set the expectations? When they look at the settlement sheet for the first time, what are they going to see?